It's almost a year ago when I uploaded my video about my famous and popular technique I called Holy Planet. It's a desktop tutorial showing you how to create little planets and inverted planets in two different ways and how to mix them together to get a very detailed and perfect Holy Planet. This time I'm gonna show you another way to create the same effect right on your smartphone. If you don't feel yourself a Photoshop guru and you prefer apps, I hope I will give you some nice tricks. In the same time, I also want to give you further inspiration to create more complex Holy Planet photos working with different raw materials. All we need is only two free applications called RollWorld and Photoshop Mix. RollWorld is a free application for iOS, but Android users can find TerraPlus or any other apps to create tiny planets. And Photoshop Mix is a free app by Adobe. You know, they don't have a Photoshop app with all the retouching functions, but they have dedicated applications. This one is great to create multi-layered images and blend your photos any way you want. So let's jump into it, and first let's create our tiny planet. Now I will work with an image I call Haunted House. I took this shot during supermoon with several exposure settings. This time I will retouch this one. I open RollWorld and browse the image. First I create a little planet. It's very important to keep the first slider on the right end, and I only modify the magnification and maybe I turn the image a little bit around. When it seems okay, I export it with the highest resolution possible. Then I simply step back and turn it into an inverted planet. It's very important to pull the first slider totally to the other end. Then I rotate the image and zoom in a little bit. And I export it with the highest resolution possible. Now I have a little planet and an inverted one created here on my phone using the very same photo. Then I open Photoshop Mix and create a new project. I import the latest images. It doesn't matter in which order I import them, because I can move the layers up and down later. I prefer having the little planet on the top, because it's easier to create the hole in the middle of it. I simply tap on Cut Out and I can start drawing a mask. I have two options. I can add and subtract to find a selection. I use Smart Tool, but a basic selection or lasso tool is also available. Or I can use a regular shape mask and so on. This time I like the Smart Selection tool. Tapping OK, I can see the other layer under it. First I flip it horizontally just like on desktop. I can always edit, resize and rotate the layer which I select on the right side. And I can refine the angles and the mask anytime I want it. This time I will erase the ground and fit the roof right under the house. Tapping on Cut Out, we find an option called Refine. There I can feather the edges and even make the edge of the mask a little bit fuzzy or smooth. So finding the edges and fitting the image well, we get a great result. It's not as precise as on desktop, but it still looks great to share on Instagram. It's only one click and I can export it as a new image. Then I can retouch it a little bit and finally share it on Instagram. But talking about creative ideas, now I'll give you one more tip about Holy Planets. Until now I was talking about a workflow working with one single 360 image, but of course we have the possibility to mix different photos too. We have to think about it more before shooting, but it still works. In this case I have two photos on the same location in order to blend them easily. This time the grass makes it very easy to mix these images together, and finally it looks very fun. Creating a playground without ground is really funny too. First I made it on desktop so it looks this way with a very fine masking. But I can create something like this on smartphone too. The first image will be a tiny planet and the second one is an inverted planet. Then I import both photos to Photoshop Mix and put them together. As you can see, I can create thinner and bigger rings, it depends on my mood or taste. I just play around with it and here we got the final result created right here on my phone. So I hope I could give you some more inspiration to play around with this Holy Planet technique on smartphone. As you can see, it's such an easy workflow, and if you try and like it, please tag me on your Instagram post so I will see your result. And of course you can already find a lot of Holy Planet photos on Instagram with Holy Planet hashtag. So check it out, and if you like this short video, please thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it, guys. See you soon!